So on Twitter, text messages between a mother and a teenage daughter who's 18 years old was trending. She recently just started having sex and she was telling her mother about the whole experience. Now, why this was trending is because the father found these messages and he wasn't happy with how the mother handled the situation. He feels like she's encouraging his daughter to be having sex.
I personally don't see much wrong in it, to be honest. Like, I get why it's so alarming for a lot of people because it's not something that is quite common, because having sex talk with your parents is something that has always been made very uncomfortable and something that probably should not be happening. I actually sort of applaud this lady for like being so open with her daughter and having that opening communication to such an extent with her daughter that her daughter can actually speak to her openly.
Doesn't matter what age the boyfriend is.
It does matter, but at least now she is, because they're also open to each other, she is in a position to be able to advise her and tell her like, okay, my child, don't you think he's a bit too old for you? And if you have that relationship with your mother, first of all, you know this is your parent and they are in a position to give you sound advice. A lot of the times is we wish that our parents would give us advice on certain things, but we know like some things are just taboo. You can't have certain conversations with your parents until you are old and things like that. And even then there are still things that you still feel uncomfortable about speaking to your parents about. And which I don't think it should be like that, because your first friend, I think, should be in one of your parents. I think like
Your first friend should be your first friend. Your first point of guidance should be your parent.
yes. So don't you think they are in the best position to guide you in situations like this?
It just kind of blurs the line a bit, kind of instills a bit of respect in a way.
But what is this kind of respect that we're so obsessed with? What benefit do we get from that? Because the distance between parent and child. It's not that you're not going to do these things, but now you're going to do it behind your parents' back. And parents are always going to be the ones who get the aftermath of everything. So now you're only going to be in the picture now because when the child comes to you and they tell you that they're pregnant, instead of you being able to track things before it even gets to the extremes of situation.
I don't know the context behind this, so this would only work if maybe the parents decided and told the child that no, we can start having sex after you turn 18, and she turned 18 and she started having sex, and she's vocally telling her mother the whole.
Even though that's not there, to be honest, we can't make that assumption, but I do kind of think so, because as you can see, she broke her virginity at 18, which is quite good. And I think for that to even happen was because she had an open relationship with her mom. Her mom told her, hey, I do think it's probably better that you break your virginity when you at least 18 years growing up. It is no benefit to you having sex younger. You can, it's easier for you to speak about things like teenage pregnancy and things like that, or teaching your child to have more pride in their virginity when they are younger. Like, it's not a shame to have it, because we know how much girls actually shame each other. This is not something we talk about a lot, but girls actually shame each other a lot for being virgins. You're kind of made to feel weird sometimes of, you know, if you decide to keep your virginity for longer, because chances are you're going to be surrounded by friends who are not virgins and who have lost their virginity and who are actively having sex. So it does kind of put pressure. So if your parent is there to hold your hand and be like, you know what, you don't have to succumb to the pressure. You don't have to, it doesn't have to get to you. There will be a time for everything. You're not lecturing them, because we know if you lecture someone and you tell them, don't do this, don't do that, chances are you pushing them to actually going to do it.
When does it start getting disrespectful?
I think it would be in a part where you start involving your parent being super promiscuous, I think. Why can't we have that detailed talk when it comes to sex?
I'm just thinking now, in my situation, if it was a boy and my son came up to me and he told me his sexual experience,
Yeah.
and he told me that the sex was bad because it smelled bad down there,
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff is information I didn't need to know.
But why? Like, he's telling you his experience. Is this something normal? Why must the streets be your guide? And you've got people that actually care about you at home that could actually be your guide. Hey, you're not going to stop me from having sex, but at least when I am having sex, let me know, like, there's people who actually care about me. We know how young people tutor each other. We tutor each other all the time. How people will tell each other, condoms on nice and things like that. Like, who more than your parent has your best interests at heart?
I guess I just come from a school where It's just some things you can't tell your parents. Men are overprotective with their daughters. So in a situation like this where it seems like you're encouraging her to have sex, obviously he'll feel away.
Are you really thinking in your mind that she's not having sex? And just because you're not talking to her about it.
You do not want to know.
But it's
'Cause you're gonna
not
have that
changing the fact that she is.
You're going to have that image of her.
But you were not supposed to see those messages. They were hiding it from you on purpose because they knew you will be sensitive.
The father's responsibility towards the daughter is to maintain her purity for as long as
But
possible.
she was going to lose it nonetheless.
This opens up the door for a whole phase. And that's the part we are trying to.
I don't necessarily think so.
Opens up, like once you start having sex, you can go through your whole phase at any point in time. But if you're a virgin, you know there's no whole phase. The worst thing that can happen to a father is a daughter being a hoe. That is the worst thing.
You guys are such hypocrites, to be honest. Like, if we're really being honest. Men lose their virginities quite young. Who the hell do they think they are losing their virginities to? Where do they get that? Where do the boys get that preying mentality?
They're just easy targets. Women are hypergamous, so it's always easier to go for younger women because the boys their age cannot do what I can do. I can buy you more pie at school than the guys your age. If I'm a matric and you're in grade 8, I can do more for you than the grade 8 can.
So why, when you get older and you have a daughter, you're not remembering that guy?
Men separate. There are holes and then there are...
Excuse me, they were their kids. That is somebody's kid that you
But-
said.
Like men see women two different ways. It's either you're a hoe or you're a respectable woman.
Yeah.
So we know there are hoes out there.
Yeah.
There just are hoes out there. And that's who we go to for fun. We go to hoes for fun. But the respectable women are the women that we look up to, we want to marry, we look at them as like mother figures in the community, all that kind of stuff, right? So when you have a daughter, you automatically want to raise her as a respectable woman. You don't.
But y'all love the hoes at the end of the day. So
For
how does
fun.
that work?
They serve two different purposes.
So why can't your girl be the one that gives birth? Why is it so important for your daughter to be respected in society?
As a father, you want to make sure that your child doesn't go down that path.
I think y'all need to get over yourselves at some point
So-
and that fear of unknown, because what you sitting there and not doing anything about it is not going to change the chances anymore. You getting more involved is what could change the chances even more. I feel so, because look how she's able to have that conversation with her mom to say, well, the mom asked, did you use a condom? And she was like, yes.
Women are more susceptible to change than men. So, for example, cool, things are going well with this boyfriend, and maybe he fucks her over. Maybe he breaks her heart like badly, you know, and she doesn't become.
But don't you think the mother or the parent is in a better position to teach her how to handle the
Have you
break?
ever been heartbroken?
Yeah.
Is there any words your parents gonna say are gonna help that? No. No. If you've ever been heartbroken, you know that nobody can tell you anything. That pain that you feel is a pain that you have to internally deal with yourself. So how you deal with that pain will be the difference between you becoming a hoe or you deciding that no, this life is not for me.
So
I want to be celibate.
you being strict makes the chances less.
You trying to make sure that she doesn't have sex makes the chances less. But
I think on this one, let's just agree to disagree, to be honest. I don't think we will ever be on the same page on this one. I don't know. You guys let us know what you think. Leave a comment and maybe we can keep the discussion going.
don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new.
And thanks for watching.
See you in the next video.
Bye.